can afford and not reward.
Welcome to the BYOK Live, where we discuss the trending stories, strangest dilemmas, and real life topics. Okay now, lovelies, let's get into some things. Hey, how are you? It is us. Yeah, you probably can't hear us. Let's see. Hey, can you guys hear us? How are you?
Hey, everybody.
How is everybody doing out there? How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I thought I was ahead I game with the thing. Come to find out, I didn't click
It's okay.
the picture on. This one, Miss Days.
They're used to us by now.
I think they are. It is August 9th.
Yeah.
The second Wednesday already.
This year is flying.
It is flying. How was your week, Mom?
So far, so good. So far, so good. Because you know what happened the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back. Just trying to get acclimated back into getting my desk cleared off. That's all.
Yes, I just want to pinpoint. I need everybody to be careful on the road. Like, people are they're not only driving for other people, they're not driving for themselves. People are going down the wrong way. People are speeding. People not paying attention. People stopping midstream in the expressway and stuff like that. So just be mindful when you drive it. I don't think people realize that you can really get hurt or possibly die. Yeah. But on a brighter note, welcome to BYOK 2 Cent Live.
Yes.
Hello, Fluent Radio. How are you doing out there? If you are on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere, follow me, like me.
Yes. You're everywhere.
I know. I am everywhere. If you can't miss me. I'm literally everywhere. All right. You ready to get into the show?
I'm ready.
All right.
Daydream. I fell asleep beneath the flowers.
Somebody get her. So, Sunshine, we're usually talking about positive things.
Yes.
And then it goes downhill. So,
yes, it does.
Well, our topic today is accountability 101. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yes.
All right. So I love Lil Wayne. Have always loved Lil Wayne.
I love him.
And so I was super excited, courtesy of TMC, to hear that he got a Billboard. He's in the Billboard Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
Yes, Lil Wayne.
Super excited. And this is what he had to say. It was really quick. Okay. While I'm figuring that out, they said he embraced it. Wait a minute. Why is that not playing? You know what?
It's just something about
I checked the video. I swear I checked the videos before I put the link in. Let's see if this will work. I really want y'all to hear what he has to say. But basically, he was just like he's in the studio all the time, which we already know. Here you go. After this ad. They love the ad. Why they're loading the ad? I love Lil Wayne. Like, if manifestation was a person, it's definitely him. Yes. He went from like proclaiming to be the best rapper alive to actually becoming it. Like, he was in the studio nonstop, and not only did his blueprint work, he like shared that wealth with like Drake and Nicki Minaj, and they're like phenomenals now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I really do love him. Is it me or is this ad really long? Like,
it's really long.
There we go.
Yeah, we see. We love you, Doochie.
He's so funny.
I appreciate it. One more time for Miss Gail, man. She told me she was going to do that, so she did it. One more time for Ice Spice as well. Yeah. Thank you. First of all, of course, you already know, got to give thanks to the man above. Also, those that we lost, those that we wish were here, we thank you as well. And to my fans, I think I worded the best way when I say I ain't shit without you. This is for y'all. Y'all as in my fans, y'all as in the people in the crowd, my supporters, those that work with me, those that work for me, those that work around me, those that work like me. This is for us. Just another footnote, I ain't stopping. They told me what time to be here. I was in the studio. They told me when I could leave, I'll be going back to the studio. So, thank you. I love you all.
love you.
Yes,
Wayne.
I love you,
was
little
super
Wayne.
excited about that.
Yes.
Super excited. Here's another thing. You gotta be quiet. So here's another thing that I wanted to share. It's Issa Raye, and she was talking about, like, I think because now I'm 40, I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm starting so late in everything I'm doing. Like, I wish I'd have did the blog or the podcast earlier before it was kind of like, quote unquote, saturated or whatever, because that's what they say now. But I'm like, everything happens within its timing.
God's timing.
And God's timing. And so I loved what Issa Raye said. And so I thought I'd share that for Sunshine today. It's only 35 seconds, everybody.
Thank you, Jesus.
Really, Mom. All right, so let's hear what Issa has to say. Oh, thank you. I don't know who here, but thank you. Hey. All right, here's what Issa has to say.
I don't think it's ever too late to get started. There are too many stories of people learning and getting their opportunities later. People like Morgan Freeman, who started late. And I think about Ava, who didn't pick up a camera till her mid-30s. My show didn't get greenlit until I was 30. I'm thankful for that because I always say, if I had started to pop in my early 20s, I would be out here hoeing. So maybe it's good that you're popping later. You're more mature, and this doesn't define you, doesn't define who you are. And I do feel like I have more of a sense of self because I started later and because I knew I really wanted to do this.
And I love that she said that. I really love that she said that because you do know what you want the older you get. Right. So you playing around in your 20s. It's like trial and error. Like, you have this idea of what you want to do.
Yes. In my 60s. You all talking about 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. How about 60s?
I know, but it's Candy. Hey, Stormy. Sorry, babe. Hey, Stormy. And so, yeah, so I feel like when you done all the trial and error and you reach a point in your life and you like, you know what? I was talking to a lady yesterday that discovered her career at 50. She was doing all this stuff and she was like, oh, I like this pinpoint or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She said, I heard her say that earlier. I can agree with being more developed and knowing what you want. Yes. So now you're not
never too late.
You're not playing a guessing game anymore. You try things and you realize this is for me, this ain't for me.
Yes.
And I feel like now you're more pointed. That's why they say life really begins at what? Is it 40 or 50?
60.
I think the saying is 40 or 50 though, because you really
I don't know what learning. They say 60. All my 60s people.
Okay, it's the 60s.
Represent.
It's the 60s.
Represent.
All right, well, that was
Fluent Radio. Where's Fluent Radio?
Fluent Radio. They're right here.
Hey, Fluent Radio.
You can go to www.fluentradio.com if you want to listen to us. And also, we're going to do a quick commercial with my media partner. Oh, let's see what Stormy's saying. She says, it's like when you're in college, young, changing your make. Yeah, like 4 times. And they make you decide it like right there. And then they charge you more because they know you're going to change your mind. You're not going to have the same interest in freshman year as you have. I don't know anyone that started off. Very few people I know graduated with the degree they started off as.
True.
Key point chemistry.
She said, I was like, you don't even like numbers.
I don't like math, but I wanted to be a chemist so bad.
She did.
Then I ended up with a psychology degree. So then I realized I don't know how to like let stuff go. So that might not work for me. And then I'm like, well, how can I still like help the people? And then I saw HR and I'm like, okay, that's the way where those two can kind of like coincide or whatever. And so I love being in HR, you know. So I went back to school for it.
And you're good at it.
And I love it. Thanks, Mom. Yes. So, but I didn't realize that until like my 30s. But in my 20s, I wanted to be a chemist. I wanted to be a psychological profiler for the FBI.
Yeah. I wanted to be a weather storm chaser.
So that was my original plan when I was 18.
Right.
She said, laughing at Mom, I agree. 60s is probably when you have it all together.
I don't know about that, but I do. Thank you for that. But I know it's more defined on where I'm going. I have it all together. I don't know if you ever have it all together, but I'm more defined on where I'm going. So thank you for that.
Love
cheerleader.
That. Thank you. I was a psych and anthropology major. Really? My first 2 years.
Wow.
You do great. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. I didn't know that about you. Anthropology.
Now that's interesting.
I took 101 of that. It was interesting.
And I wasn't good at it.
I am a weather student. Yes, you are, baby.
Yes,
you
and that's
are,
what
baby.
I want to do, baby. Chase them storms.
Just don't chase waterfalls. Okay, corny. Okay, so let's get into commercial. Let's get into commercial with my meetup partner, Miss Metchi. We'll be right back.
Y'all, it's your girl, Miss Metchi, checking in with my girl, Renita from Be Your Own Kind. You know that's my sis. Make sure that you tune in every Thursday to the Blueprint Live at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on Facebook and YouTube. And then you can catch me on Fluent Radio, Philly Jams 95.3, Indie 101.5, and Mixed Talk Media. And I'm available anywhere that you listen to podcasts, okay, and your radio shows. So get on it, okay? Let's do this. I love to connect with you and promote what you got going on. Let's get it. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Blueprint Live, visit thebpmediacode.com today.
All right. You heard the lady. Follow her on Instagram at MzMetchi.
What
Miss
you
Metchi,
got going.
yes, or email her at contact@MzMetchi.com. She's doing interviews. Speaking of interviewing, I am starting up my interviewing on my podcast again.
Yes.
I will actually reach out to the people that scheduled during the time my grandmother passed away. But also, I'm going to put out a plug because I would love people to come on and I just talk to all kinds of people. I'm going to actually reach out to some people too. So wish me luck. I hope I have some very fantastic guests for you. Summer is ending, and so that means I'm back inside. I was outside, and I decided that my off period going forward for BYOK is the summertime because I just want to go outside. And so I put myself through this torture every summer.
Every summer. BYOK.
Yes, and so I'm gonna
CBS.
You wanna do it now?
Oh wait.
Okay, all right. You can do it. Okay, you ready for Kiwari?
Yes.
All right. Well, here we go. All right. So mom picked this video. Can you believe it, for Kiwari?
I did it.
She was highly upset and she wanted to get some things off her mind. And I'm like, this is the place to do it. So let's get into this lady that has upset my mother for this entire week. So let me make sure it's at 0. Here we go.
To all my ladies 55 years and older who want to be married or in a serious committed relationship with unrealistic expectations, let that go. You know what I'm talking about. He's got to have a 6-pack and he's got to make 6 figures or more. Let me tell you something. That boat has long sailed. That's the Babalo boat. It's in dry dock right about now. Okay. Now you might get a man with a 6-pack, and that's because he's been in somebody penitentiary working on his body so that when he got out, he was going to hit a lick. All these dating sites that y'all on, all they want to do is run your credit card up because all of the men that are on there are bums and they liars and they want to hit a lick. Let me tell you something, ladies. The difference between an older woman and an older man is willing to pay for a younger woman. An older woman don't want to do that. Well, I ain't never paid for a man and I'm not going to start. This is a whole different day. And let me tell you something. When a man gets with an older woman, she going to talk a lot of stuff. You can't tell her nothing. She got 2 or 3 stomachs, okay? It take an hour just to prepare for sex for 10 minutes worth of it. And she don't listen. Let me tell you something, ladies. Ain't nobody got time for that. Get you a mechanical friend and or ask God to take that desire from you. Go on trips and enjoy yourself. But having these unrealistic expectations, you're going to be frustrated and you ain't going to get no man. Enjoy your life.
Okay. Ma, I know you got so much to say. Stormy said, I agree with the internet thing, full of lies and people just want to have sex. I get that, but to tell somebody to pray to desire, go ahead, Mom. Go ahead. I know you wait.
Put me on.
You want me to take her off?
Take her off.
You're done with her?
I'm done.
Okay. What you got to say, Mom?
Listen, Linda, listen. There are stories of people who get married and find love in their 60s, 70s, 80s. Don't tell people 55 and over that it's over. Unrealistic expectations, I get it. Don't have those. But don't tell people there is no such thing as love after 55 because there is. You okay? Musa, I'm okay. Just don't do that. You have to be wise. You have to be wise when you are single and a senior. But don't just tell us to go get a mechanical friend and go on a trip.
It's very pessimistic.
Very,
And this is probably someone that's married and is not in the dating world either. But
yes.
she said, "Pray for the desire to go away."
She
so
said, "Pray for the desire
you can
to
never
go
be
away.
intimate ever.
You can never be intimate. You can never be loved. You can never want to be loved." Ooh, I had a problem with that, and I told Renita I had a problem. People get married. Thank you, Facebook user. People get married. Thank you.
Yes, people get married at 80 and 90 years old.
And so I just disagree with that whole bit. Sorry if I'm wrong. I just disagree.
And you don't have to agree with her.
I don't have to agree with that at all.
You don't at all. And then we have some. She says no. I'm gonna get sex until I can't no more.
Hello. Who is that?
I think it's Stormy.
Hey, Stormy. Hello. That's all I'm saying.
And I just feel like that's from her point of view.
It's from her point of view. So you
can't speak from it like on a. I know, babe. I told her it's Stormy. It's Stormy.
Thank you, Stormy.
It's like. That's your point of view. That's how you feel, but you can't just make a general like.
She made a generalization
and be like, "You'll never have
the board.
Yeah, you'll never have love
like
again.
You'll never have love again. You'll never love again. Forget about love. If you're 55 and over, just die today, because it's never gonna happen." So untrue, and that's all I have to say. That's my disclaimer.
Are you sure you're okay? Because you got real intellectual right there. You start enunciating, and
she made me enunciate.
You got real low in the tone and stuff.
And so, if that's her perspective on it, I just disagree. That's it. That's all.
That's true. Yeah, she is she's very pessimistic.
I just disagree with her.
She thinks it's funny. I want to let you get it out. You got any more?
Right, because I'm 63 and I will love again. Let's go.
I don't know if this so much has to do anything with love, but okay, so I just found out that
yes,
my friend Leosha posted this in the BYOK Facebook group, which you should join if you're not a part of it. And Stormy said, "Yes, you will love again. You will love again."
Oh,
so
Stormy.
She told me to watch the video. And I'm like, what is happening in Alabama? Because wasn't a couple of weeks ago somebody reporting themselves missing or something?
Yes, Alabama is off the chain.
I don't even know if I could show this video, the hat toss. See, I missed the hat toss. And so I just wanted to know what happened. Did you see the video?
I did.
Here's the video, and hopefully they don't flag me. But a fight appeared to start when the worker objected to a pontoon boat preventing a larger river boat from docking and was attacked by a group of white men. So this is what the person saw on their end. Because there's a whole bunch of like. So they thought they were going to bully this black guy, which was an old black guy.
Go over there to move
that
black pontoon boat on his own.
And so he's doing his job. And they thinking it's funny, and people are recording it at first, and no one's helping, and that's what we're used to, right?
And they just attacked him.
Just attack. So he's doing the best he can. I mean, they all just, and here he go. I just seen him run. This is the first time I seen where he came from. He came, instead of video recording, he actually did something about it. This ain't 1950 no more. We're not them same people. No, we've come too far.
Okay, now I think you need to.
I am, because why did they think that was true? So they pushing people in the water. I still don't see the hat flying.
Oh my God! You going to jail?
Why do they all have white hats? It's like they this was a big thing. And so now they're trying to like arrest the assaulters. But I'm like, the people that should be arrested is the guy, or the 5 people that was jumping on dude or whatever. So the white people parked their personal boat where a huge professional boat needed to dock, and the security guard asked him to leave. He was doing his job. Exactly, and they attacked him. The black people came to help and support him. It got all out of control, and that was the Alabama sweet tea bar. And that's basically what happened.
That's what happened.
And so somebody put in the comments, this is not 1963 anymore. It's the new civil rights order. Like, that's enough of that. As much as they're trying to erase and take us backwards in history, I just don't see that.
We're going ahead.
Right. I just don't see that happening anymore. But this is a great, because I was about to read the story, but you just stopped me from reading the article. But yeah, that's what I mean. I figured he was doing his job.
He was doing his job.
And somebody came to the rescue. So it was like they said 6 black men came from the riverboat, confronted the white party, and cheered on by bystanders. So those are the people recording. They beat 3 white men and 2 women. At least one of them could be seen from striking others and running up and throwing their body from behind. It was the chair for me, because that's what I really saw. I'm like, where did this chair come from?
The chair has been very prevalent, because I've been seeing a lot of people with
because somebody took a chair and hit a lady. It was a black guy hit a lady with the chair because she thought she was gonna jump in, a white lady.
Oh,
and so he picked up the chair and hit her.
I've been seeing a lot of that chair lady. I'm about to get me
exactly. They have songs, t-shirts, etc. about it. Of course they do.
Of course.
The price of folding chairs have gone up. Now here at B, they started GoFundMe for the boy that swam across to help, and he said he don't want the money. He actually was underage. This was a teenager that came to the defense of the security guard, and he even though he has a social media site, no one's really saying his name because he's underage.
Okay, just keep.
He's underage, but so we thank you, young man, for
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. 16 years old. We thank you, young man, for having the common sense and fortitude and strength to take care of an elder.
Yes, his mother taught him well.
His mother taught him well, and so I mean, although BYOK do not condone violence, we don't condone bullying either.
We don't.
So it's for me to sit and make a whole message. I don't have a message for that. Quit bullying people. You bullied the wrong person.
You bullied the wrong person.
Aquaman is what they call. I gotta look this footage up because I just found out about this period because Miosha had posted a chair and I'm like, why does this chair have on a hoodie and?
But it's been a lot of posts about the folding chair,
and that's what it is. Now 2 hours before this even happened, I found this strange. The ladies held a ceremony at that same location honoring their ancestors.
Wow.
So people believe this. They said there is power in ancestral healing. So this is what they were doing hours before.
You're amazing.
Copyright me.
Okay.
So a lot of people feel like this was related to that. The ancestors were mad, and this wasn't a day.
Oh wow!
And so a lot,
you're just not gonna have it today.
Exactly. So a lot of people just feel like, and look at that. Look how they middle age jump, like a closer outlook. They're middle age jumping on him. Yeah, I was like, wow, y'all better quit playing like spirit ain't real.
Spirit is real,
and spirit don't die. Even though we miss our loved ones, they're still around. Spirit don't die. Our ancestors,
trust me,
prayers, whatever, it doesn't expire.
It does.
Spirit don't, and so all our ancestors
born, and it doesn't die.
And so, Devin, she says, while it was satisfying and joyous to watch instant karma take place, especially when so much black blood has been shed at the hands of white supremacists, there's nothing funny about what happened.
Nothing.
I mean, it's not funny at all. But I also feel like it is no but. It's not funny. However, I feel like it was a message that because it's perpetuated that we don't get along
and we don't stick together.
We're not a community. And I feel like if you get anything from this, you should get that there is community in African America.
Yes.
We do have community. And so that's
let somebody talk about. Now you can talk about it. Let somebody else talk about it.
Right, that's just like with family members. You can talk about your family member all day,
but nobody
better come out and say it. They can say the same thing you saying, feel the same way you feel. So I'm actually happy to have saw, us banding together. I hate that it was violent because, like I said, we don't condone violence at BYOK, but I also don't condone bullying. And so he took up for that guy because they literally could have really severely injured or killed him.
They could.
That was a lot of people.
Because he was outnumbered.
That was a lot of people for one person. All right, let's get into our next commercial. I'm going to remove us.
Hey, princess. Yes, you. You're a mom as soon as you wake up, and it's like it comes before anything else. And maybe you're even a grandma too. But that's not all you do. You work, you learn, you cook. You have so much on your plate, and it's time for just a little bit of you time. So pack a bag, or if you're already in Chicago, drive right on over because we're having fun. We're shopping. We're getting massages. We're getting henna. We're eating some food, y'all. And we have a little space just for the kids to make sure you're still able to mom everywhere you go. Come out to Pop Up and Paint September 2nd. Click the link.
Can't hear nothing I'm saying. Make sure you come and visit us on September 2nd.
We're vending out
We're
there.
vending out there, and it's in the city. It's at the Charles Hayes Investment Center. Yes.
We are doing a collab as BYOK and CBS3 Designs.
Go ahead, Ma. Go ahead, do your CBS design. Hit it.
BYOK and CBS3 Designs will be vending at this event. And that's my advertisement.
So what is CBS3 Design?
Oh, I can do it?
I said go ahead, yeah.
CBS3 Designs, we design, we design custom prints of your choice. She gave me the platform, and I'm like, what do I do? I do from clip art, custom designs. I do for businesses, personal events, family collages. That's what I do.
Yes, and so you can find her on Etsy at
You can find me on
CBS3 Design. We're gonna get you a commercial, man.
Can she give me a commercial? Because she caught me on the spot, and I'm like, yes, I know what I do because I'm always improvising my own commercial. Can you do me a commercial?
I can do you a commercial, Mom. Mom will have a commercial next week. I'm ready, y'all. Everybody, how are you doing? We're 26 minutes in.
We're doing great.
And so now we're on What's the 411? We are doing great with time today, aren't we? Yes.
What's the 411, Mom? I gotta go.
All right. So this is not the best news. I don't know if you guys know about the writers' strike. It's been 100 days, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay. But it's a misconception that these people really be like rich, the people that be writing or the people that be in shows. But some of them are only living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, wow. And I think I want to do a video about this because Taraji was in an interview, and she was like, you think that we make a lot of money, but think about it. When we're doing movies and projects, that takes months or years, and we only can work on that project. And then you got to wait, then you got to get another project. So you only getting paid for that one project. So it's not like they're simultaneously doing some of these projects. They're stuck, doing this project for, an insurmountable amount of time. And so you do struggle. There was a time she had to share an apartment with Regina Hall.
Regina King?
Not Regina King, the other Regina. Regina. She played on let me find her. Let me see right quick. Sorry, y'all. Regina Hall.
That's what I said.
Did you say Regina Hall? I thought you said Regina King.
I said.
Okay, Regina Hall.
No, you said Hall. I said King.
Oh, okay. So Billy Porter reveals that he has to sell his house to save money amid writer's strike. He said to the person that said we're going to starve them out, you've already starved me out. That's what they're doing. They're trying to just make it where they can't survive anymore, and they'll just fall back and not get paid. But it's kind of like being a contractor. It depends on how many projects you have. So if you like a hairstylist,
you in my zone,
right? So if you can have an off season or on season, but if you ain't saved or got enough on your own season, when your off season comes, you may not have that money. You may not
be able to survive.
And so, courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk, it says neighbors. It looks like Billy Porter is one of the many individuals being financially affected. Mama told me to put my glasses on. By the writer's strike. In a recent interview with the Evening Standard, Porter revealed that he has to sell his house amid the ongoing strikes in Hollywood in order to save money. Porter discussed having to take cost-saving measures in his real life as various projects he was set to work on in September have been tabled. I have to sell my house, he says, because we're on strike and I don't know when we're going to go back to work. Porter further explained the struggles he's had to endure during the strike, the life of an artist until you make FU money, which I haven't made yet, is still check to check. I was supposed to be in a new movie and on a new television show starting in September. None of that is happening. So to the person who says you're going to starve them out until they have to sell their apartments, you've already starved me out. He said towards the end of the interview, Porter also ended up calling out Disney CEO Bob Iger for a statement he recently made where he reportedly called strikers' demands unrealistic. There's no contract for it. It's not Nielsen ratings anymore, Porter said. The streaming companies are notoriously opaque with their viewership figures. The business has evolved, so the contract has to evolve and change, period. To hear Bob Iger say that our demands for a living wage are unrealistic while he makes $78K a day.
A day?
A day, Disney, Mom. A day.
Oh, wow.
I don't have any words for it, but F you, he added. That's not useful, so I've kept my mouth shut. I haven't engaged because I'm so enraged.
Wow.
But that's the thing. These companies make all this money off these writers. If it's not for writers, there's no shows. But they are at the bottom of the totem pole. Just like anything with corporate, all the executives, they in the meetings all day, but we down there
doing the grunt work.
That's the same order hierarchy.
I never thought about
in
it
the
like
business. So these people are living paycheck to paycheck sometimes. And it's awkward for me because he's been in a lot of stuff. He's this big star and he has to sell his house.
Wow.
So I don't want to get too much into the writers things. Like I said, I actually want to do a separate video about it because I'm gonna start doing separate videos about stuff I feel passionate about. But this is 100-day. Hollywood writers are frustrated as talks languish, so they're trying to wait them out. Like I said earlier, they're trying to wait them out. This began on May 2nd.
Oh, wow.
And it's still going. So
in August, yeah.
Yeah, so the Warner Brothers says we are in some uncharted waters. What? So here's the thing. I'm gonna read this, but here's the thing, like, we don't know what Netflix and all these streaming platforms are making. That's why they said, you know, it's not clear, it's vague what they're making, but we know that they're making a heck of a lot more than what they're reporting, which means they could pay these writers more. Do you see how many documentaries and new shows that be popping up in these streaming do you know how many people writing it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't even think about it on that.
Yeah. And so the last time they had a strike, it cut off a lot of good popular shows.
It did.
And
that was during COVID.
No, it was way before COVID. It was in the 90s. And so I watched this on a YouTube, one of my favorite YouTubers, Troyce. He was talking about that, and I'm just like, wow, I didn't even know this had happened before. And a lot of our shows that just mysteriously cut off, like One-on-One, remember with the father and the daughter, that got wrapped up into the writer's strike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so look, y'all, we
without
can't
writers, we don't have shows.
Exactly. So it's just kind of like we could do better.
Yes.
We could really, really do better. I'm just trying to see what the next thing is. Okay, so that is that. So the next thing we're talking about, Mom was talking about global warming, which is why I thought this was interesting that I had found this earlier.
Okay.
There is a fire. There was a fire that started in Maui, Hawaii, and then a hurricane happened. Like in the middle of the fire, of the volcano. A hurricane came out of nowhere.
Yes.
And so one of my other favorite YouTubers said, is this
apocalypse
a stepmother nation? Which is that infamous machine everybody's talking about. But this is what's going on in Maui right now.
Video from Lahaina. Much of the town is completely destroyed. Brush fires have caused extensive damage on Maui. Hurricane Dora, which is passing to the south of Hawaii, is fueling the intense wind.
A hurricane and a fire.
It's like Lahaina is on fire. Oh my God.
That is crazy.
What's even crazy is that they're
terrified. Oh my God, I hope there's no
Oh,
and look at that.
This is dangerous.
But that's what I
didn't even realize what you've been by storm chasing to now.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
I need you to get out of the way of the fire, like.
But that's what I wanted to do, and then it didn't happen for me. No, you're happy.
Sort of, yeah.
But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to
So you like the movie Twister?
Yes. When I saw Twister, I'm like, yes. It came out after I wanted to be. Yeah.
So there was a picture of what it looked like before the storm, but I don't have it. But yeah, so it's really bad. It's really, really bad. My heart, my prayers go out to people out there. And then why this is not mainstream news, I have no idea. Like anytime something like this happen or weird weather things happen, we never hear about it.
It's just a story on
CNN, and that's it. Yeah. But I just happened to come across it, so I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Because they're actually having to evacuate now. That was the update before I left work.
Mm-hmm.
It was another article came out on the internet saying that they're actually going to have to escape, and some people are actually jumping in the ocean to escape.
This week, just jumping in the water.
They're just jumping in the water to escape.
But can they survive that? Like, is that healthy water? Is it salt water? Like,
I don't know, but they're actually jumping in the water to escape.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just wanted to end with something good for What's the 411. Celebrity news is a little weird right now, so I was just trying to go with stuff going
I saw
in the
this
world.
too.
So Mr. T, I didn't even know he's from Chicago, but he's giving away shoes for kids. Let's get into it, courtesy of CBS.
You know, you gotta pity the fool that doesn't have proper footwear. Take a look. That is Mr. T.
Yeah.
Chicago area legend Mr. T did not say that. We should be very forthright about that. But that was the general sentiment of a shoe giveaway attended by the iconic actor at the Cosmopolitan Community Church on the city's south side today.
We want to inspire the kids to get them back to school. You know, let them know school is fun. Learning is fun. You know, learning is special. You know, so that's what we're about, to inspire them, motivate them, let them know that this community, we care about them. You know, and the kid learn better when he have some new stuff.
Amen to that, too. Skechers, design shoe wear.
He ain't never lied, though. It ain't nothing like going to school and feeling fresh and feeling confident where you ready for school versus when
you're all fresh.
When you don't have something new and you kind of everybody else all crisp and you're not crisp, it do make you feel away. I know that sounds kind of weird, but
that's the truth.
It do make or break a kid's attitude to get into school. And school is actually starting now. Like there's some kids that actually started this week, and then I think some kids are starting a week from now, but school starts. So I remember,
and they want to be fresh. It used to start after Labor Day.
Yeah, when I went to school, it was in September. Like we would get out really late in June, and we would start in September. But now they're getting off. They're getting off like early in May.
No, like the end of.
It's early in May. Some of these kids got out of school before my birthday, like 2 weeks before. Because I used to be, and my birthday was at school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, now kids be out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, you want to get this commercial break going?
Yes.
And we're going to this. It's finally here.
Yes, this weekend.
We've been advertising this and anticipating this for 2 months.
I am so excited.
So let's get into this commercial and we'll be right back.
The members only car club. Where my members only car club members at? Show some love right now. That's what it's all about, guys.
Hey guys, this is Lady Fluent here, and I wanted to remind you all to save the date for Saturday, August the 12th, 2023, where we will be hosting and broadcasting live from our 3rd annual car show featuring the Members Only Car Club that will be held in Crestwood, Illinois. The event will take place in the parking lot of At the Office Bar and Grill on Calsac Road, just west of Cicero Avenue. Registration will begin at 9 to 12 p.m. and will be $20 for motorcycles and $25 per car. This event is free for spectators and will have 10 categories, including 2 Best of Show awards, Best Club Participation, and the Kids' Choice Award. And yes, we will also be hosting our fundraiser again. This year, we are going to be partnering with Dr. Keisha Roberts-Tabb for our fundraising efforts, in which proceeds of the event will be donated to the RTA Group for the 2024 Girls Night Out Rally in support of human trafficking awareness. The RTA Group is dedicated to bringing awareness to human trafficking through training, evaluation, coaching, and counseling to ensure that vulnerable populations are afforded the best care and treatment possible without violating their dignity and safety. Fluent Radio is proud to become sponsors of the 2024 Girls Night Out Rally, which will take place on January 12, 2024. For more information on the RTA Group, human and sex trafficking, or Dr. Keisha Roberts-Tabb, please visit www.drkeisharobertstabb.com. So drop on by Saturday, August the 12th. Enjoy yourself and tell a friend. Contact us via email for any additional questions at pr.fluentradio889@gmail.com or online at www.fluentradio.com. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
All right. We'll be there. Will you be there?
We'll be there.
Yes, Fluent Radio, how you doing out there? We got 20 minutes on with you guys. We may make it.
We may
make it. We may not.
We're gonna make it.
I know, but thank you all for just being here and listening to us. And I hope to see you at the car show.
Yes. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yes. Are you ready for the main topic?
Let's go.
Hey, lovelies. Now it's time for the topic of the night. Yes, I feel like that cuts me off before I finish. Accountability 101.
Yes.
I wanted to brush up on accountability because even I miss accountability.
We all do.
We all do. You know what I'm saying? So I said even I to say that this is not me being on a soapbox at all. So what I want to do at first is first go back in time. Oh, I got to do my back in time thing, don't I? It doesn't even.
Okay.
I have to do it. I have to do it. So last week I talked about why we're talking about accountability. So I kind of want to remind myself too, but I just want to remind you guys of why I chose this. So here it is.
He looked at me just like you looked at me, and no one said anything. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Nobody said anything. Do we have one more quote?
No, that's it. We have 3 more minutes. I mean, I think next week, we're coming back next week, right?
Yes.
I think we should get on accountability. I think we should talk because I feel like half of the issues that we have with ourselves, not just people, is holding ourselves accountable for the part we play. Here's an example. You set a boundary, right?
Yeah.
You gave in to the boundary, right? Whose fault is that?
It's your fault if you give it to your
boundary.
boundary.
But who do we blame?
The other person.
The person who crossed the boundary.
The person who crossed the boundary.
Exactly. And I feel like we would have more, and this was from my therapist. I just learned it myself. It's easy to be accountable, you know, oh, I messed up this now, but do you be accountable for you being upset? You know what I'm saying? Like some of this stuff that we put ourselves through. Instead of changing the behavior or sticking with the behavior, we give the power to other people. Like with Lizzo, hey, nobody make you do nothing you don't want to do.
No.
All right. So
yes,
we'll stop there. And so I just kind of feel like accountability is that thing that we kind of put transparency and accountability together. Mm-hmm. Now, those are 2 separate acts. Transparency is I'm being honest. I'm telling you what it is, whatever.
Right.
Accountability is actually saying the same thing with transparency, but checking myself or
I'm accepting the responsibility.
I'm accepting the responsibility of it. Right. I'm holding myself accountable. And so I feel like it's good to be transparent. Oh, I'm like this, but it's another to say, oh, I'm like this, but I'm holding myself accountable for what the part that I play in the situation. There are a lot of people that are not talking to people to this day because they just won't own up to their part.
They won't.
And I don't give a crap what the disagreement is. Both parties is wrong each time to me.
Exactly.
And it may not even be like, it might have only been one offender. However, if y'all ended up in an argument, y'all both failed because not one person in that party stopped it. Not one person said, hey, let's walk away or hey, let's do this. If it gets escalated, it's both your fault because you allowed somebody to take you to a space that you didn't want to be in. So there's your accountability. Like I should just walked away. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so I just kind of feel like it's the other side of it where we're pointing fingers all the time, but we don't hold ourselves accountable. Once again, I think I'm being redundant now. We don't hold ourselves accountable for the part that we play. The part that we play. Even when you have users around you or you have people that's pulling off of you, hold yourself accountable because you're allowing yourself to be used and you're allowing yourself to be pulled off of. And so I feel like when do you stop and say, okay, this got to stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to set this boundary. I have to set this whatever because I'm the problem. When do we ever stop and say, I'm the problem?
Because a lot of times you are the problem.
Exactly.
We are the problem.
And that's why I wanted to talk about accountability. And so I looked up the word accountable because accountability is just going to tell you accountable. But it says subject to giving an account, which is still the word, answerable. Capable of being explained. And it's not like you're explaining yourself to someone, but is it though? Or
no, you're accepting the responsibility of your accountability in whatever the situation is.
Okay.
Not holding the other person with the bag of saying, oh, it's my fault. No, it's not just your fault. I have some accountability in the results of what happened. See, it's the results of what happened in situation.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And so they have some synonyms here, which is responsible, like you just said, implies holding a specific office duty, answerable, accountable, liable. So I like liable.
I like liable.
You're holding yourself liable for whatever's going on. And so only you can stop forest fires, which is probably nothing I should say after our last show, but only you can stop metaphorical storms and fires in your life. Like the only thing that we have control of is us. And sometimes we're out of control, causing the dysfunction.
Because I have a perfect example. Marriages. I called my husbands and I gave them my point of how I was accountable in the situation, and they were like, oh my God. They were like surprised. Because a lot of times, not getting into details, but a lot of times when things happen, we're so quick to play the victim or point fingers or blame at the other person, but not doing the why or the what or the when or the how of what we did to play a part in the result of what happened in failed relationships, failed whatever it is. We so busy like they did this and they did that. What did you do?
Right.
What did you say? What didn't you say?
Right.
How didn't you react? How did you react? How did you overreact? All of those things are expressing your accountability of the results. It's the results. We look at the results, but we always so quick to point the finger at the other person. But what did we do that may have made them even act the way they did or respond the way they did?
Because not every response is somebody toxic. Some responses are reactions.
It's reaction.
It's a build up, and then it's the wrong day and it explodes. And so I think that's a good segue to the article. I know, Mom. It is courtesy of Forbes. So they were talking about, I found a lot of articles, which this is one too, about accountability in the workplace, but I feel like it can correlate. So we can see accountability in action when people recognize and own up to their part of what is occurring. If their message is hurtful to someone, they are willing to examine how their communication may have been unhealthy or damaging. That is so important. Sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it.
How you say it.
Yeah, sometimes it's about how you say it. If I come to you and say, Mom, versus Mom, what you gonna respond to?
I'm gonna respond more positively to the mom. I'm gonna respond more aggressively to the mom.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be more aggressive.
Right, it's an argument, so they don't blame others when they're at fault. And that be the first go-to, and when stuff happens, I literally have to stop myself and say, wait, what is the part that you play in this situation? Because I always say both people are guilty. There are not two rights when it's a disagreement. It's a wrong because it escalated.
It wouldn't be a disagreement if it was all right.
Right. If you could have, like you said, you could have articulated it or anything like that. Here's the one I don't like. They blame others when they're at fault. That's the huge
lack of accountability.
Exactly. They don't make excuses for why things are happening.
Right.
Why you didn't? Because I just didn't. I feel like those long. Because I feel like the more I used to talk myself out of the accountability, the worse it would get.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, you didn't do this. You right. I didn't. I'm sorry. Versus, well, I didn't do this because this is going on in my life. Because all people here, even if it's valid, all people here are excuses.
And then it's kind of like you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, and to them. But this stuff could have really happened though. But that don't have nothing to do with you breaking a promise or whatever the situation is. You can be like, although you and I think that although I did something, although this was going on, I still feel like that's still a segue of not holding yourself accountable.
And you know what? In those type of things, you leave yourself open to acknowledge your accountability. When you don't acknowledge your accountability, then that makes you more at fault for whatever the situation is that's going on.
Right. Right. It makes it worse. So I'm
It makes it
learning
worse.
when somebody say, well, Renita, you didn't do this. I'm like, you are absolutely right.
I did.
And people will respect that more than you saying, you right, but it's that word but that just eliminates any type of accountability, any type of validity to anything. They don't make excuses. We said that. They don't pawn off all the responsibility or all the failure onto their teams or subordinates. This is still workplace.
Okay.
If they continually miss deadlines, okay, that's work. If their business is failing, they don't hide their head in the sand and stay in denial. They do something proactive about it. And that's another thing. What are you going to do about it? There was a song,
Right.
I think her name is Emil Lyrics, where it says, I see you down, but when you going to get up? When are you going to say, hold yourself accountable for rising up? Like, okay, this life be life and life knock you down. But you have the ability to still rise above.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can just stay there.
Yeah.
Or you can rise up half empty, half full.
Yeah. It's perspective is everything. My pastor, our pastor says, change your perspective, you change your life, change your attitude.
You change your attitude.
You change your life.
Yeah.
And I say that when I'm having that stinking thinking, I'm like,
thinking.
If I can't, I can't. I always say that. If I say I'm not, I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? Right. Hey, love, how are you, Deanna?
Hi.
She says accountability doesn't mean you're absolving another person of their responsibility. You're just empowering you. That is perfect.
That is perfect.
She has the perfect words all the time. I love it. Accountability is for you.
It's for you. It's not for the other person. It's for you.
That is perfect.
That's perfect.
Yes, that is. Hey, that was perfect. You came right on time.
Yes.
Right on time. So these excuses and this and that, you know why this didn't happen. But here's the thing. I'm sorry, and I will try it. I will try my best. I don't even say I will try my best not to do it again because I'm a human. But I will say I fell short in this.
And you may say I'll try to do better.
Yeah, I will work on it.
I'll work on it.
You know what I'm saying? But if I don't charge it to my
Deanna,
my head. That is
perfect.
This is a snippet. I'm gonna put that snippet there.
Yes.
When I do the snippet. I love that.
Yes.
They say in hard discussions they can see and understand the other person's perspective, even if they vehemently disagree.
That's it right there. That's it right there. You can totally disagree. But here's the thing. It's from your perspective and my perspective. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree.
We're not when I feel like a conversation is going in circles, I'm like, look, you feel how I feel how I feel, but we can still be friends.
We can still be friends. We can still, be relatives.
But we just feel how we feel,
about this. And it's no wrong or right.
That's my thing. It's
no
not
wrong or right.
Exactly. It's just your opinion, my opinion.
Exactly.
Right. And finally, they recognize that what is happening in their world, their lives, and their careers is being actively shaped by their beliefs and their actions.
That's key right there.
I love that.
Because we all, a lot of times, are in a different, you could be dealing with something, and I'm dealing with something totally over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It doesn't lessen what you're dealing with and what I'm dealing with, but we can come to a cohesive agreement.
Right. Right. I love that. My husband says we should aim to disagree without being disagreeable.
I love it. Oh,
I love that, girl. I'm gonna make you come on in a minute.
Yeah, you
can learn from being open to other people. Right.
Yes.
First of all, I always tell people other people's perspectives are so important because your ceiling is just your knowledge. Exactly. So in order to elevate that ceiling, you got to learn from other people, learn from something outside of you to grow. Right. So if I'm only stuck in my ideas and my views, I feel like I'm stuck.
You stuck.
I stopped growing.
And see, my daughters keep me level. Renita and Krista keep me level because we have hard conversations and we have analytical conversations, the three of us. And it's like we see each other's different perspective. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong. You're not right. I'm not right. You're not right. But it's like your perspective. It's just that simple. There's no right or wrong in it.
Yeah, that came from your point. That was your great point, love.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong in it. It's just your perspective.
Exactly. We are sold on our own point. And right, we already feel how we feel.
We already feel how we feel. Oh my God.
But here's the thing, both parties, when you enter a conversation like that, both parties already feel how they feel.
Already feel how you feel.
And so
there's no changing that.
Right. And Deanna, she specializes in communication and relationships. And I want to know if you agree with me on this. It's not the verbal part that's the problem with communication, it's the listening.
It's the listening.
It's the listening, because
and the hearing.
If we're already coming in conversations with our own point of view, right?
Right.
That means I'm just listening to respond. I'm not listening to understand. And that's where a lot of disagreements come from.
Exactly.
And that's where people miss a point, because a person be clearly illustrating how you make them feel.
Right.
But you're thinking about how they make you feel if you're not listening or whatever.
We do that all the time.
And you miss the mark. People tell us all the time what we're doing wrong.
They do.
But you have to stop and listen for real and be like, oh, I see that.
Right.
I see how I could have did that.
And see, Renita teaches me that on a constant basis. She teaches me that because a lot of times we just hear what we hear. We don't hear what the person is actually saying or trying to get across.
No, because we're so busy trying to construct a response in our mind.
We're trying to fix it, like you tell me.
Yeah.
We're trying to hear what we hear, or we're trying to fix. Sometimes everything is not fixable. It's just listen, really listen, and not listen, hear. Listening and hearing is two separate things. You can listen to a person, but you have to hear what the person is actually saying.
But some people don't even want to hold themselves accountable for not even listening. Like, I'm telling you what it is. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm so guilty
of that.
Because I'll be so in my convictions and how I feel.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm so guilty of
I
that.
wholeheartedly agree. People are just waiting for a chance. Exactly.
Yes.
She said we should focus on the problem and us solving it together, not going against each other. We should come into the situation with a resolve. And in order for a resolve to happen to me, both parties have to hold themselves accountable
and have an open mind,
because we're not perfect. If we're never wrong in a situation, we are proclaiming perfection.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about
there is none perfect but the Father.
Exactly. So, or sometimes people just want to know you exactly.
That's what I just said. Then hear them. Like I said, a lot of times we listen, we don't.
Do you know how many people are depressed because they don't feel seen or heard? Yeah. Because they're talking and it sounds like the Charlie
it's just
Brown.
Going over there.
If somebody would have heard, hey, I'm not having a good day, and people, when you really think back, you'd be like, dang, they told me they wasn't having a good day for a week straight, and I'm just going on about my life. When you call people and they never talking about what's going on with them, something has to stop you and say, hey, we ain't talked about you at all in this. Are you doing okay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, I understand.
Yeah, like I just feel like sometimes we don't even hold ourselves accountable for caring.
Yeah.
For being kind.
Or putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes.
Exactly. Or here's the thing, just cutting off what's going on in our life for just a second.
Exactly. What type of
yeah, so it's 10:18. So so I just kind of feel like accountability. This is a real. That's why we said one-on-one. But this is a long. This could be talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But when I'm saying accountability, I know it's the big things, but we miss the mark in relationships on those little things. A lot of the biggest, and I could be making this statistic up, but a lot of people I know that are divorced was because of communication. Well, and the people say, man, I wish you would have told me that. Anytime I hear a story about that is a common phrase. Then why didn't you just tell me? I did try to tell you. Communication.
Me being a divorcee, she's absolutely right. Because you look back on the relationships and you say, well, why didn't I just tell him? Or they'll say, why didn't I just tell you? And then you're like, you know what I'm saying? Just the basic communication could have saved the relationship.
And with friendships, with parents, with anything, you know what I'm saying?
Work relationships, anything. Just the basic of looking at it from the other person's perspective or point of view. Or even acknowledging that they had a perspective or the point of view.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times you're so busy trying to defend what you believe or what you think is right, you don't even take into account where the other person is even coming from.
So from what you're saying, accountability is dropping ego and coming with an open mind, ready to listen, ready to solve problems, and ready to be agreeable. And not even if it comes to a standstill.
Right. And not always thinking that you are right.
Oh God.
Because that was, I'm having accountability right now for past failed relationships because I wasn't willing to listen to what they were saying because you know what? I just got into my mind that this is right because this is what I feel is right. I didn't even take into accountability what they thought was right or their perspective of it. I was right. That was the be all, do all. And you know what? That made me wrong because I wasn't accountable for my actions in thinking that I was right.
But I feel like accountability comes when you're trying to change.
When you're trying to change.
Noticing that you're hurting a person or that something is on a treadmill.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just kind of felt like this was a good one-on-one for accountability. I mean, we could do a 102, 103 if you want.
It's more.
But I feel like this is just a basic of just dropping your ego and just simply saying, I hear you, I see you, or I was wrong.
That's what I was going to say.
I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Sometimes
you are just people.
You're just wrong.
You're just wrong.
And you could be the toxic one. You
could be the toxic one.
Definitely could be the toxic one. So
I have been a toxic one.
Yeah, so I love that. I love that. So you have a subject for next week, right? The me factor. You want to expound on that a little bit? So I can do a snippet.
What was it? What did she say?
You said I can look it up right quick.
Look it up right quick. My sister, my friend, gave us a topic for last week. The me factor. Why are we? Did you pull it up?
Why are people so self-absorbed?
Self-absorbed. There you go.
The me factor, and I feel like this.
Why are we so
this self-absorption has come because we realize that we matter, and I think it's just learning the balance of it. So I don't think people are trying to be selfish, but they're also trying to ensure that they don't go backwards. You know? Cousin, I was just thinking about you.
Hey, Renita.
I was literally just thinking about you. People need to be willing to listen and be aware of you expressing right.
Exactly.
And I feel like if you give space for other people to express their feelings, you should get that too. But you also shouldn't assume that people are you. So there's that. That's an accountability that I feel like I struggle with because I'm like, well, I would do that. And the thing is, I can't expect you to be me. You will never respond like I will respond.
And I won't respond like you.
Because you're not me and I'm not you. And so I feel like just holding ourselves accountable and learning like, oh, that's not even their capacity. They not going to do nothing like that. That's not even in their personality. That's literally that's not only holding them accountable, but holding you accountable because now you're like, I have to set a boundary here because this is not their capacity. So I don't want it to keep hurting my feelings. So either they're gonna be in my life or I have to accept what comes with them.
You have to accept them within the capacity.
Because we want people to love us and accept us 100% good or bad, but are we willing to do that for people too?
That's what I was
Are we willing?
Are we willing to do that? We always want to be on the receiving end, but do we give back what we want to receive?
Exactly. So if I say, Mama, take me as I am, but I'm snapping you up every Thursday at 5 o'clock, I don't know. Then
no, it's 3 o'clock.
Is it 3 o'clock?
Yeah, it's not 5.
It's 3. I don't snap up every Thursday, y'all. But I think my point got lost in that. Oh, yeah. But if I'm saying take me as I am, no, that was wrong. Mm-hmm. If you're telling me that, I forget it. The whole point is I'm not gonna hurt your feelings purposely if you tell me that something's hurting your feelings.
Right. That's your point.
Yeah, I forgot it.
We got lost because I
started playing. I forgot my point.
But yeah.
The point just fleeted. So we're going to talk about the me factor. And so I just feel like there's a thin line between self-care and selfish. And so we could just say that then, or we could just call it the me factor because I kind of like that name.
I like the me factor.
Yeah. And so I don't think people are meaning to be selfish. And I interviewed this girl Candace and her and I don't know if she would want to be a part of this conversation, but she feels like self-care is now commercialized. Actually, I'll just play a snippet on there. It's turning into a trend.
It's a trend
more than an actionable thing. So
I mean, it's supposed to be a positive. And see, that's another thing. we take things and then we trend them, and it loses
Well,
the
here's
whole.
the
A lot
thing.
of things.
When did you? How old were you when you learned about self-care?
Now,
Exactly. And how did it feel?
new and
Liberating, right?
liberating.
So just like any new thing that give you a high, you chase it. And I feel like people are feeling liberated, and they're filled with freedom, and they don't never want to be deflated of that. And so there's when it goes to, this ain't gonna happen to me. I'm living my life. I only live once, because they're getting a taste of just being free with them. And so the show can be about that, but how do you balance selfish and self-care?
That's where the me factor comes in.
That's where, because it's gonna be about me, but
it's gonna be about
also
me.
probably need to be about you too.
Because a lot of times, like reform people pleaser, like Renita and myself.
Yeah.
And when you start being this reform, therapy that's like releases you with stuff, and you like, when you're not being a people pleaser anymore, you're like, oh, I'm not going back to that. Oh, I'm not going back to that. But you can't. It's a thin line in not going back to something and being offensive and not being open to what somebody else
is saying. Right.
saying.
So I feel
It's
like
a
this
thin
is a new
line.
phenomenon. If you really want to learn about self-care, really learn it from these younger people, because they have learned how to balance.
They balance
servitude with themselves and with others.
They really balance it.
So I really watch the younger generation
do
with that,
too.
because self-care is new to me as well.
It's new to me.
Yeah, but
they do it.
We finna do the whole show for next week now.
Okay. But stand by. That was just an introduction. Stand back. We don't want to get too much.
Right.
But stand by.
So
for
we
next
may
week.
do an accountability 102, 103, 104.
And included me factor. Accountability 102. Me factor.
Yeah, so I love you all. As usual, you could have been anywhere on a Wednesday night, because it's late, y'all. But you decided to come chill with mommy and I, and we thoroughly appreciate that. We really do. And so until next week, don't forget to be kind to yourself and each other.
Yes. Don't forget to be kind.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.